Hello. So, um, as the description mentions, not raiding today. It's fine. Whatever. Um, hope our tank gets better soon. He's not feeling well, so. Anyway, uh, also mentioned in the description, I think I'm actually gonna try taking some time to do some programming, because I've been hit with a wave of inspiration for this game that I've wanted to make for a while. Uh, I can finally get to it. Now's a great time. I think holding myself accountable by streaming it makes it a lot more doable. One of the biggest things is I'll often put it off because I'm like, oh, I'll just do it in my free time. But then in my free time, I take it up with playing a game or watching YouTube instead of doing something that I'm like, you know what, this would be a productive thing to do. So, uh, So yeah, I think I'm gonna actually work on it today. Block out, the few hours I was gonna stream anyway for making a game. Um, One thing I mentioned Tuesday, Wednesday, or whenever when I updated OBS to use my other graphics card for video processing, video encoding. Well, as it turns out, it broke some stuff with it broke some of the stuff with my uh capture. So that's not great. Anyway, because of that, chat is broken. So no chat will display. I tried updating the CSS code that makes it look all nice and pretty, and that didn't work. I've tried sending a couple messages, but they didn't pop up. So not really sure what that's about. Um, I mean, I guess I could try to get it to broadcast something else, but I mean, I might as well test it real quick while nobody can see anything. It might just not render the thing at all. Let's see. Okay, yeah, like it can't do any browser windows, it seems. It seems like it's able to capture uh seems like it's able to capture a window just fine, but it doesn't seem to be able to do any of the other integrated captures like uh game capture, browser capture. So that kind of stinks. I might have to change up my approach then. But that's also a problem for another time. Uh right now I am literally starting at the worst part you want to in any project, and that is the blank canvas. Um so I guess honestly, I don't know if I'm trying to think. I don't have a great way to draw this out. I guess I could draw it in like paint. I could put like a, I don't know, pro gamer move and just drag paint over here and then write. But basically, oh, you can't even see it because I captured the window and not the desktop. Okay, we'll fix that too. One sec. Might as well capture MS Paint. Oh, and it just shows the canvas too, so it just looks like a black screen. That's funny. But if I draw just line thickness, uh, paint doesn't seem to be painting. Does it have to be this color? Okay. Oh, but that doesn't. Are you what? Wait, so if I. That's weird. Okay, paint doesn't work. Whatever. All right. Well, that's something. Anyway, so with what I'm thinking is I'm going to make a 3D game. The point of this game is you'll play as a little robot. Literally before stream, I was working on a sketch of it. I'm opening my little sketchbook right now. I'm thinking all the character designs and stuff will be low poly. I'm a big advocate for making games basically be able to run on anything. I think games today are too large in size. I don't see a reason why any game should be larger than 40 gigabytes, personally. Even Baldur's Gate 3, which I really like so far, I think it could be done in a lot less than 130 gigabytes. I imagine a lot of the stuff on it is just uncompressed audio and graphics. So it'd be cool if that was smaller. So I think making my own graphics, lower res, lower poly, able to run on like, I don't know, somebody's iPhone 4 would be cool. I don't know why I said iPhone 4, just some old device, right? I don't it'd be nice if especially since like I don't know, I'm not big I'm not very good at like doing modeling and texturing myself, but this project will include all of that is the plan. So it will include the programming of it. As you can see, I'm using Godot. It's open source. It's free. I think that's cool. There are probably other engines that would work for what I need, but I figure I like what Godot's doing. Might as well use it. So cool. Uh, it is a little bit of a learning curve. I messed with it a little bit, so I have some idea what I'm doing, but I'm not the most professional. I haven't used it a ton. I do know how to program though, so it's like I won't struggle on that front. Uh, but I will probably be using my second monitor off camera, so you won't be able to see it. But uh, I'll probably be looking up like references and stuff. Again, this is more of a chill live stream. I probably won't be doing too much. So I think first we're gonna just try to build our 3D character. We can worry about camera and stuff later, but right now I just need to get a guy to move. Uh, what version of Godot am I using? Real quick. That's probably important. It's not there. 4.4. Okay. I do have my desktop audio muted, so if I'm listening to something, you might not be able to hear it, but that's kind of intentional. I don't want to steal people's work, but I will. If I think their information's useful, I will mention it, right? I don't think it's right for me to steal their information. This person's already starting off with animations. This might be. They're making a whole character controller? A lot of this has to do with animations. This would be an interesting video if I was at that point, but I just want to make... Okay, this is a kids can code thing. Okay, maybe this will work. One thing I want to do is I want to focus a lot on organization as well. I think I am inclined to be a very messy person, so I need to be very deliberate about my file organization. In the far future, this is like, let's say I actually get this to a good state that I could sell it to people or like people can play it. I would want it to be moddable. I think that allows people to have a lot more fun with it community wise. So I'd love for everything to be readable and accessible. And I imagine with it being made in Godot, that's possible. Like it'd be possible for people to decompile. But I think a little bit of it is just how classes and things are written, and another part of it is whether or not it's even in a language that's easy to decompile. I think GD script or whatever Godot uses is decompilable. But I think most of the things you see, like on the Thunderstore, for example, uh, like those games that have the R2 mod manager mods and stuff, those are I think made in Unity typically. Anyway, let's see. What are people suggesting? Okay, so they sorted out entities, globals, menus, UI, and then scenes. They're different persons saying it. What is this Pascal naming convention? I feel like I've... Oh. Yeah, okay. No, this is... I guess I just hadn't heard it by name, or haven't heard it by name in a while, but Pascal casing makes sense, yeah. Okay, honestly, I do kind of like how this person's doing it. So we're just gonna name this one. Does it even just... Oh, the pop-up doesn't show. I wonder if just a whole window capture will work. I'm gonna try it. Or not window capture. Let me see. Could I do a display capture and just capture? Okay, it doesn't work. Yeah, I've got to... You know what? I might be able to fix that now. Because, like, I feel like missing the pop-ups and stuff is kind of important. Especially since I feel like even though this isn't a tutorial, there are people who might come along and be like, you know what, I kind of want to see how, like, the process of how this was made. Maybe use it for my own thing. And, I don't know, I think that's fair. I don't want to take that away from people, especially since I feel like I would use that as a resource myself. So just having somebody else, like being able to do that with somebody else's thing might be nice. I don't know. I have to find where I added OBS in my thing. Can I remove this? Or maybe I could. Okay. I reset it to card 2, which is apparently my default card. Honestly, I might have to restart OBS for this to actually take place. Can I just delete a thing from here? You need to restart your app or games to see changes. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I don't really see a point in restarting the whole stream, so this will come up next time. Anyway, it's basically just asking me to create the folder. So I'm just naming it like entities. Can this exist outside of res? No, I think res is just everything. Res is just like slash, basically. Okay, and I think we're not going to start by defining a specific player just yet, because we're probably going to have well, one, this isn't going to be like a single player game with AI enemies, or CPUs, or whatever you want to call them. It's just strictly going to be focused on multiplayer. So at most, if I do anything single player, it'll be like a training room. So I'm probably just going to have a player entity that each individual controls and not worry about like having computer controlled things. So that'll be nice. But there might be other entities. Some things I can think is the game will include some like physics things. So some entities might include like pushable boxes or balls or something that you could like push into an enemy to like get them to get launched around or something. Physics-based stuff is always fun. I think it makes games like 100% more silly, and I love it. So I really want to include physics-based stuff like boxes, balls, whatever else, maybe platforms. So those things will probably constitute as entities, but I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe that'd be a special type of ground. I don't know. So anyway. This is starting with a scene with ground stuff. I guess I ought to make a plane. So we can start with a 3D scene and we'll just add, oh, you can't see the node. I'm making a 3D object. I'm trying to remember what type of 3D object I want. I think I just want a collision shape. Or like a collision object or something like that. Just something that the player can collide with. That's probably for the best. I guess what's the difference between a collision shape and a collision polygon? Imagine one is 3D and the other is 2D in a 3D space. Thickened polygon shape. Okay, yeah, so uh since the 3D space kind of matters, we will node configuration warning. Collision polygon 3D only serves to provide a collision shape to a collision object 3D derived node. Okay, so I need an area 3D node. Or something like that. What was this? polygon 3D, I think. I have to close the window. Area 3D, static body 3D, rigid body, character body. Okay, so I might actually need a static body 3D. Can't be moved by external forces or contacts. Okay, that's fine. And then we'll make the collision a child of that. Static body 3D. It doesn't actually have a shape yet, though. I thought it'd at least start as a square, but can't be moved. Can be moved manually by other means such as code, animation mixers, and remote transform 3D. When it's moved, it teleports to its new location without affecting other physics bodies in its path. Okay, so if you want it to affect other things. So if this is just ground, it's fine as a static body. Like floors and walls, as well as moving surfaces like conveyor belts and circular revolving platforms by using constant linear velocity and constant angular velocity. Yeah, but how do I get a... Okay, what if I do... If I look up body in this window, I'm sorry again that you can't see it. Mesh instance 3D. Node that takes a mesh resource and adds it to the current scenario by creating an instance of it. This is the class most often used to render 3D geometry. I think this is what I want, right? No, I don't want a soft body. Is this... I think this is what I want, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm trying to figure out if I can add collision to it. Or, sorry, there is collision. I want, like, a visual for how to make the ground. Alright. Just... honestly, I'm just pulling up a 3D platformer tutorial. We'll see if I imagine this covers how to make ground. That they had a camera immediately, but I kind of don't care about that. What version? This is in Godot 4. Probably not 4.4, but that's not as important. Oh, I say that, but apparently 4.2 changes a lot of how things work. Okay, video from 3 weeks ago. Actually, I'm going to open this in a separate tab. White boxing. I've gotten a bit... The first 6 minutes of this video are just... They're good... It's probably a good description of, like, what are you looking at in Godot? But I don't necessarily care about that, because I kind of already know what I'm looking at. So, let's see. Okay, so apparently white boxing is their thing of just... Instead of fully texturing and drawing a thing, you just draw like a template. This is probably good, because I definitely want something to test with. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna delete these, and then they're going to tell me, oh, just make these things. I am excited to see what they do, though, because I imagine, like, just kind of skimming through the player, it looks like they go through exactly what I'm trying to do, so. Okay. Finally, they get to ground. Honestly, I love the vibe of these guys, but, like, I'm just looking for information, unfortunately. Nothing against them, though. Okay, CSG, base class for CSG primitives. Parent class for various CSG primitives. It contains code and functionality that is common between them. Cannot be used directly. Instead, use one of the various classes that inherit from it. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. CSG box shape. This node allows you to create a box for use with the CSG system. I don't know what CSG is short for. Maybe if I watched, maybe if I was actually listening to their video instead of skimming, I would know. But constructive solid geometry. It's a tool to combine basic shapes or custom meshes to create more complex shapes. Okay. They're mainly intended for prototyping. There is no built-in support for UV mapping or editing 3D polygons through extruded 2D polygon. Though extruding 2D polygons can be used with the CSG Polygon 3D node. If you're looking for an easy-to-use level design tool for a project, you may want to use Funk Godot or Cyclops Level Builder instead. I'm gonna try to build my own level builder, considering that the game itself is just going to be like a series of levels and menus. So maybe I'll get into that in the future. But anyway, this is probably good for what I need. So sure, we'll create one. Hey, a box. That's exactly what I was looking for. So we have a box. Okay, do they literally just... It's not as easy as squashing it down and stretching it, apparently. Mm. Mm. I was about to do a silly baby gamer move. Sorry, I feel like it's picking up something. I'm really sorry if that was loud. Okay, I'm done messing with my mic. Okay. So I actually need to adjust the size. Okay, is that... Okay, so they just, Alright. They add some environmental things like a sun and a camera. That's cool and all. I guess I imagine it'd probably be useful to have a camera for when I actually try to look at it myself. Though I don't imagine it will be viewable immediately. I need to move this thing. So I can actually you can kind of see what the camera sees in the top right. I think shift is locking it in. Yeah. Oh, I guess me grabbing the specific levers is probably what's really doing it. That's a good enough angle. I think if I play, I'll just select the current scene. You can't see it. It's dark, cool, because there's no sun. They add directional light. I didn't necessarily mean to create the directional light here. Actually, just set the position to 0, 0, 0. Oh, but why is it treating the origin? Why is it treating the... Oh, because it's childed to that thing. Okay. It also doesn't need any rotation. That's fine. Now if I preview it, oh, you can actually see the direction the light's coming from, which is completely sideways. Maybe I should change that. Is it affected by the rotation? It is. It is affected by the rotation. So we can make this like a nice, I don't know. Oh, we need this to be negative 45. All right, cool. Now, if I play it again, yep, it's gray. I'll pull up the camera. So you can kind of see it's now grayish. Cool. Yippee. They start their player character with a character body. Makes sense. Perfectly reasonable. We're gonna do the same thing. Because we want these. So the thing is, the player is not affected by physics, and I feel like you can kind of emulate that by hitboxes. But I don't know if you actually want them to be affected by physics or not. My thought process is I'd love for them to get like hit by stuff and knocked back by stuff, but at the same time I don't want like I guess no, because we emulate some physics on the character, such as gravity. Um, and so things getting knocked into them, you could just have equations be like, okay, they're getting hit in this direction by this thing at this speed. Right, speed is also, or velocity is a vector, right? So it's like, okay, it's got this velocity going into them, so apply some multiple of that velocity to them, like, I don't know, 0.9 or something, right? Because you lose some energy from the collision. Something like that could work. So, I think in that case, yeah, character body is probably fine for what I'm trying to do. Why is this invisible? This node has no shape. Yeah, yeah, that's right. It don't. I imagine they're gonna quickly go over. Yep. I need to. We'll just make it a capsule. Do I actually see the capsule yet? I don't think it's rendered anything. No, it hasn't. I just have the collision. I think something like the pill is probably going to be good enough for any character I do. Just because it's like, especially if I like mess around with the size, I imagine this will probably be pretty good enough, pretty good for what I'm trying to do, which is just like, I don't want them to fall off. Their center will be kind of, their center of mass will be kind of centered. Generally their hitbox should be like a certain size at their body. Like it will, I don't know. This will probably be fine for most things, and I assume I won't have to edit this. But in the future, I don't know. We might have to change it. They're literally going over that now. Oh wait, hold on. They are talking about. Hold on. Are they? Can I move this thing's point of? Ideally, they mentioned this in this video. Honestly, this video seems pretty good. It's more in detail than what I need personally, but honestly, I think they're doing a good job explaining everything. I'd like to be able to move this, like the origin of the collision, to the feet. Can I do that? I can do that, I think. When I move this to 1, no, that didn't do it. The transform did not do that. Let's see. Oh, wait, hold on. Because they were saying... So this thing's transform. Okay. But then the body's also in the ground. So the collision shape, I'd like to move up. Does that move the character body up? No, it doesn't. Okay, so I think that's what I want. With this thing being at its feet. I don't know how tall this capsule is, but basically I can move this up until they kind of fit. You know what? I imagine this can be 1. And then, yep, there it is. So I will move everything down. honestly, the height this is set doesn't really matter, but basically this is just set up our this is just set up our character body to be your character body's origin to be uh, at the feet of the thing, which is cool. It's good, cool and good and well. Gotta add. Uh, we'll add. Hmm. They just use a. They don't have a. They don't have a pill. They don't have a pill, which is a little annoying. I could just make the. What is a polygon? Why does it look like that? I don't really care for that polygon. I'll just create a box, I guess. This thing's transform should probably be 1 as well. 1 puts it in the center. So then I can increase the size on the Y to 2. And then there we go. It's basically the size of our pill. Awesome. Awesome and cool and good and well. They mess with the material, which is fair. Might make the ground a different material. I forget how to change the color. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Oh, we could make like some grass looking. Actually, you know what? I think the ground should be like gray-ish. That's white. Let's make it gray. Make the player be, I don't know, blue, green, probably a little blue. There we go. Player's like a nice little blue. We can check from our camera what it looks like. All right, that's awesome. It exists. Okay, they just mentioned in the video that the scary part for a lot of people for game dev is coding, which sounds honestly a little sad. I'm not blaming him for saying that. I'm blaming people for feeling that way because I imagine that that's not a wrong statement. I kind of already know. I have an idea at least of what I'm gonna do for coding, so we'll see. Let's see. Let's see. How did they create this? Oh yeah, gotta right click. You can't even see me right click, can you? No, you can't. I'm gonna right click the character body and attach script. We're just gonna name this player. Do I want the built-in script? I don't think so. But let's see. What do they say? Oh, you could have made it in C# as well. I didn't know that. I can't do it because I didn't install the .NET version. But apparently, you can just do basic movement as an option, which is nice. Um, okay, they mentioned built-in script wasn't really a thing. Yeah, so code. Looks like basic physics. You've got gravity. If you press jump and you're on the floor, you jump. They have a speed and jump velocity set. Are those things that I can edit? I don't think so. I think I just edit them here. I don't think I can set them. Yeah, it doesn't look like I can set them in the character property thing. Um, unfortunately. So I imagine now that I'll just have a thing that works. Although I do go through the floor, yeah, because I don't think I actually set it up to collide with anything, which is fair. Um, Move and slide is just its act thing. So yeah, it just uses left, right, up, and down. Cool. I'm assuming probably space to jump. Whatever UI accept is jump. Oh, you know what? I could make, I'm gonna make a folder in here. I actually wonder if this person did the same thing. No, they actually just had, um, scripts and scenes and stuff inside entities, which is interesting. I don't know if I'm necessarily a fan of that. I might make like scripts and scenes. So we'll just do scripts. We'll move player GD in there. We'll also make a new folder, scenes. Nothing will be in there yet, but we'll get to it. Stopping a player from phasing through the floor. Exactly the type of thing I'm looking for. Did they even edit this yet? Doesn't look like it. No, that's the exact same. Alright, it looks like he's just setting up collision on the floor. Can I parent them? I am wondering if I can. Okay, they just had a collision. Collision shape 3D. Makes sense. We can go back here. Yeah, it doesn't. Wait, what was this saying? Only serves to provide a collision shape to a collision 3D derived node. Oh, I think it's complaining that it doesn't have a shape. Oh, it's complaining that it's it's a child of CSG box. So what does CSG box want me to use then? Imagine this thing would also complain. Um, yeah, it looks like it would also complain. I mean, I can add it. Let's see. Yeah, it's gonna complain as well. So I'm just not gonna worry about it. Anyway, I feel like there's gotta be a, can I just take the parent's size? I really want to just take the parent's size and add it to this. How to resize child together with parents. Let's see. This is exactly what I'm looking for. When was this posted? 2021. Margin container childs to the... No. Make size of node proportional to parent size. This looks like it's setting variables and stuff. Whatever, I'll just set it manually for now. We can always adjust that later. But anyway, we should now have... No, I'm still... Oh, because I don't actually check for the collision, I think. Oh, okay, they're actually going over it complaining. Right, take this static body. Okay. Maybe it's because it wasn't actually a child. Now, let me test it. Wow. Wowee. And I have a box that moves and can jump. Okay, cool. I have a thing that moves. You couldn't see it. Oh, interesting. So, they're saying I can delete that static body, hide this material thingy. Please minimize. Whatever. Use collision. Now, it should still work. Wowee, that's cool. Sick and radical, I guess. Here they go into project settings and adjust the movement. Your input mapping. Attaching the camera to the player. That would be interesting. I wonder if they actually make the camera... I'm wondering if they make the camera actually like follow where your mouse turns. Considering there's 2 minutes left in the video, I kind of doubt it. I'd be surprised if it was that simple. Let's see, do they... Okay, it doesn't rotate. Honestly, not a bad video. Though I feel like doing it in text probably would have been faster. But you know, whatever. So where I'm at with it right now is we're gonna look for a good way to handle camera controls. Supplemental materials. Okay, so they create the character. What does this person do for their movement script? How old is this video? This video is a year old. I feel like I've seen this one before. This guy's face looks similar. Let me see what he does for movement. He's doing a rigid body for moving. Okay, so, okay, he's just going over what exists there. Input get action strength. What do you mean by get? I'm trying to see what this guy's movement looks like. I need to speed this video up because this guy does talk a bit slow. Okay, yeah. You fall straight to the floor. You no longer fall straight to the floor. Okay, he's talking about changing controls. Okay, so he does mention getting to work with controllers, which is cool, but not particularly what I'm looking for. A linear drop down. He's mentioning a thing that does not exist for me. Probably because I am using a character body 3D and he is using a rigid body 3D. Yeah, what he is referencing is not a thing that exists, and I think that's just because of the different type of body he's using. Okay, character or camera controls. Set as top level. Okay, this is interesting. We're getting somewhere. He's getting to camera controls. All right. So on the player itself, we can go to visibility. Oh, no, never mind. It's this transform top level. So cool. Does he just use a node? Yes, he just uses a node. He renames it to twist pivot. I guess kind of makes sense, right? You're just wanting the camera to swivel around you. Question is, what is he going to do? Add a giant. Yeah, so basically what he's doing is he's just setting up a point in space that will let the camera follow the player off of. So we'll probably have it like 3/4 of the way up, I'm imagining, and then the camera will be attached to it from some length away so that you'll be able to see. The game, I think, itself will be simple enough that it should be fine if the character is if I'm trying to think how to describe it. If this is my character and I'm like here, that's probably not the character taking up too much space. Additionally, I could have it like this, like your typical action shooter type game, though I don't know if I want that. I might have it be more zoomed out, but I don't know. I don't know exactly what I want the camera to feel like. I know how I want the character to be able to move, but I don't know the way that that'll feel most comfortable. And so that's a bit of a stumbling block. So I'm not entirely set on how I want the camera set just yet, so maybe I shouldn't worry about that. But I feel like part of the or I've got a cat. Oh, hello, buddy. So glad of you to join me. I guess he just like I don't know, woke up and wanted to chill. Hello, baby. He's a pretty quiet guy. I don't think he'll interrupt, but you never know. Maybe he'll try to eat my keyboard like he usually does while I type. Um uh anyway, back to ranting about. I feel like definitely camera affects how it feels to move. So it's going to be something I need to decide, but I don't think I need to decide it just yet. I think I can get most of the movement stuff out of the way. So maybe I shouldn't worry about uh I shouldn't worry about camera just yet, I think. Are you getting down already? Or are you just repositioning your paws? No, you're just repositioning. You're making it hard to stream. Are you gonna bite me if I don't scratch you enough? He's a chunky boy. I mean, I had a photo of him up initially blocking the chat, so if you watched some of the earliest live streams, you'd see a picture of him. He's a he's a silly little guy, but I love him. I mean, I guess I kind of love him because he's a silly little guy. Sorry, didn't mean to bang my microphone there. I'm trying to get my headphone wire in a spot that he can't bite, or I guess has to work for, and maybe that's enough of a discouragement. He's definitely a distraction, but a welcome one, I guess. And you're shedding. It's getting warm. Bye bye. There he goes. He's just taken up residence next to me instead of on my lap. Anyway. Let's see, so. Yep. Then he sets up the camera some distance away and sets up the transform specifically. You know what? Well, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna follow along with this real quick. And we'll see. So he's got the twist and the pinch. I've got the camera, but he makes this as a child's to, I think, the pitch pivot itself. Let's see. I don't think he's actually moved these yet, which is fine. Yep, he makes it as a child. Ow. He scratched me when he was climbing up on my lap. Yep, so his camera... Okay, wow, the camera follows it. Amazing. Why would you adjust the... I'm wondering, he doesn't adjust the... Okay, he does adjust the twist pivot. Okay. We need to raise this a bit more, I think. Try 2. It's still a bit big. But it is pretty good. I do like the idea. Let's try 3. I'm imagining that's a bit too high. Yeah, that looks like I'm playing, I don't know, Quake or something. I feel like that's not bad. Maybe I want the camera a little farther away. That's not... We'll start with this. That looks good. We're aimed slightly over the character. I'll show the camera over here so you can kind of see it. We're aiming slightly above the character. Their whole body's in frame, so you can see what they're standing on and stuff. It's probably fine. Good enough to at least start listening for mouse. Mouse mode captured. Captures the mouse. The mouse will be hidden and its position locked at the center of the window manager's window. Sorry, banged my desk. Okay, we're editing the player. Funk ready. Okay, we're just setting its void. Expected indented block after function declared. Oh, I thought I did indent this. Mouse mode captured. Okay, so what is this? Oh, he's adding a, like, if you press escape, then it sets it to make the mouse visible. That makes sense. Um, I guess I'll add that, like, out of player movement. Makes sense that a player would have this. Input dot is action just pressed, UI cancel. Then we want to do input dot, if I do set mouse mode. Unfortunately, this doesn't show up in the autocomplete, which is a little annoying, but set mouse mode to input dot mouse mode visible. Okay, so now I'm gonna test it just to make sure. Okay, my mouse is captured. I press escape. My mouse is visible. There's no way to capture it again, but whatever. I'm not too worried about that. Oh, cool. Can't really see that. I've got to get this set up so that you can. I've got to get it set up so that you can actually see what I'm up to. But yeah. Okay, so they've got. Okay. Bar mouse sensitivity. Oops. Um, okay, so whatever. He's just setting mouse sensitivity, twist input. Twist input seems weird. I might just name them twist and pitch. But we'll see. Also, I'm just gonna copy and paste that. Oh, I see why he named him input now. Because it's, yeah, okay. He named them input because, he named them input because it's how much it handles per frame. It's not double underline. Okay. So basically this is just doing, oops. I really don't like how it doesn't have auto-completion for get mouse mode, and I don't know why. I also feel like maybe it's just the cynic in me, but I feel like every time there's motion, checking if it's mouse motion in this way, it seems a bit. Or every time there's an unhandled event, checking if it's mouse motion in this way seems a bit excessive. Like, I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess not. I don't know. I don't have enough stuff to say. I don't have enough stuff in there now to be like, I really need to worry about optimizing everything. We can just copy this line. And just change this to pitch. I specifically avoided copying, well, whatever. Oh, I also need to change this to a Y. He's using a reference to it saying twist pivot dot rotate Y, twist input. And then I'm assuming he's going to do the exact same thing for our good friend, the pitch. Let me see. Let's see. All right, so does this work? Oh boy. Attempts to call function rotate Y in base null instance. What did I do wrong? Okay, mine does look like his does. Player line 37. Oh. Let me try again. Okay, it breaks. Whatever. I'm just gonna... Actually, I guess I can just comment this line out. Not worry about that. Okay, I can rotate it around me. So here I am, I'm moving. Oh, but my movement is not relative because I'm not rotating my character. I am just rotating the thing. Also, it just goes forever. I'm not turning my mouse. Can I make it do that the other way? It doesn't decelerate at all or stop. Nice. We've got a rotating brick. That's cool. You can't even see it. Rip. That's unfortunate. Alright, so what does he do? Let's see, what does he do? Oh, I see. I'm dumb. I need to do twist pivot / pitch pivot. Oh, he does some extra stuff to it. Okay, so he does dot rotation x equals clamp. Probably because you don't want it to go past a certain point. Rotation dot x equals clamp. We can delete that stuff. We'll clamp it to. Oh, so we need the value, which is twist pivot / pitch pivot. He does negative 0.5 and positive 0.5. Guess that makes sense. So now we can test this out. And it crashes. Clamp cannot convert argument 2 from float to object. Cannot convert argument from float to object. Why is it complaining about that? Oh, additionally, he also does twist input, set twist input and pitch input to 0, which makes sense because you want them to stop rotating when you're not rotating the camera. But why am I getting this error? Invalid type in utility function clamp. It can't convert argument 2 from float to object. I'm assuming that means this positive 0.5, but I don't really get why it's complaining about that. What is different about his? Oh, sorry, I realized why. I need it to be rotation.x. I need to get its rotation for it to work properly. Okay, so now you can't see it, but I have a camera that works. Yippee. Very cool. It is also locked to a specific distance above and below me, which I can set those to. First, I'm going to increase the sensitivity. I'm going to, yeah, I promise this will look better once I actually have the thing working. But we're going to set this to 0.75 each and then test it. Okay, the camera is way too sensitive. Also, I'll probably set this to like 0.9. As it turns out, there's a reason that this was set to 1/1000th. We're gonna do, I don't know, 2 by default. We'll probably have it as like a slider. .9. I still feel like 0.9 is not that great. What if we do -1 and +1? Because so at first I thought, oh, -1 will be directly below, +1 will be directly above, but that is not the case. And I feel like the angles themselves are too low. I'm gonna try an extreme of 1.5. Okay, 1.5 is almost exactly directly above and below, which is pretty good actually. That's about what I want. It's slightly less than exactly above or below, which I think works out perfectly fine for what I want. One thing you didn't get to see is that when directly below the floor was, we don't have the camera like peer through the floor. That's something I'll have to fix later. Is my leg bleeding? Oh, yes, it is. Well, I guess I'll have to wash these pajamas. Uh, okay, it's not that bad. It looks bad, but I think it's actually dry. I'm fine, I promise. Anyway, so that's the camera more or less. So here he is explaining how it works. Okay. Um, so he's setting twist pivot and pitch pivot up. I'll just copy this real quick. And he's setting this to twist pivot. He's setting this one to pitch pivot. So now this lets us replace paths, which is good. We like nice, concise code. We don't like a bunch of references and stuff in there. Ooh. Oh, I see. Okay. So this is... I see what he's suggesting. Also, first, this might actually look better if we... if we do this. Just because there's parameters, and if it was just these numbers, I wouldn't do it. But we are going to do functions. We can do degrees to radians and make this, I don't know, 85. Or I guess negative 85. And I'll just copy that and do positive 85. All right, let me test this out. Yeah, 85 degrees is good. Awesome. Amazing. Okay, he's actually addressing moving in the camera direction. Okay, so he's updating the object's transform. Let's see. I promise this video will be more, or this kind of thing will be more interesting when I actually get to, when I refamiliarize myself a little bit with Godot, it'll be one thing. And then also once I get to like, I've got the basic elements down and I'm making models or making music or building levels or stuff like that, it won't be me watching a video or reading a guide or whatever on, oh, here's how you get this thing to work, because right, I'll already have the basic functions working. It'll be tweaking things so that they feel better. It will be level design. It will be building things off of things I already know, that kind of thing. um, I believe what we're going to do here is probably update the direction that they move. So he's got an apply central force. This is the movement thing. His movement actually looks slightly different than ours. Is get vector a vector 3? It's a vector 2. He is using a vector 3. Okay. Yeah, seems pretty simple. So just a matter of I guess I'd need to update the yeah, because he does his movement a bit differently. Here, it's just saying like you've got a true left, a true right, true up, and true down. Whereas in his thing, he has input Z as forward and back, because Z is going to be your forward and backwards axis, and X is going to be your left and right. So I'm just going to comment this out because I can probably take bits from it. As good practice, you should update. Fair enough. I'm still just going to use UI left and right. Var input is a vector 3 dot 0. I believe it's 0 in all caps. It's just a true 0. Input dot x is equal to input dot get axis. Do I have move? I don't. I'll just use UI. UI left and UI right. These will just be the arrow keys for now. Oh, I already have the extra space there. There we go. And then input Z. I'm going to copy the rest of this line and just update the little bits because this will be. What am I doing? I apparently just can't use a keyboard tonight. Up and down. Oh, it's forward and... no, wait, it'd be UI up and UI down. He's got move forward and move back. And then he has an apply central force function. Just pivot dot basis times input. He uses 1200 here, which I'm not really sure. Times delta. Apply central force is not a thing. Okay. That might be because he's using a rigid body instead of a character body. Let me see if I can't find this function itself. Let's see. Understanding physics force, impulse, and apply force, and apply impulse. There is no more add force in Godot 4. It looks like it's been replaced with apply force and apply central force and apply torque. Yeah, okay. Actually, we can look up apply force. Let me look up apply central force versus apply force. Okay, so add constant central force would make it okay, this just popped up. Why does Google want you to use their AI? Get more homework help with AI mode. Like, I thought teachers didn't want their students to use AI for homework. I mean, I haven't been in school, so I guess I don't know, but like I feel like that's kind of let's see. Align 3D movement with camera. Oh, this is Kids Can Code, so I'm sure I could understand this one. But this is also 3 years ago and is an old version of Godot. Maybe I should look up Godot 4. This is 2 years old. Let's see. In their player movement script. Wait, they just update their move direction. Okay, so they're basically doing the same thing with the camera in this video. So I imagine if this is how a bunch of people handle it, this is probably fine for what I need. They're clamping it to a certain amount. Oh, I see. So what they're doing is, I'm silly. I don't actually need this because this here is a vector 3 transform. So instead of this transform dot basis, I left the original. No, I didn't. Never mind. I was just leaving tabs for no reason. Okay, so instead of that, we can just do. I guess what do I want to update? Is direction itself a vector 3? Will it tell me? If I just update this twist pivot dot basis, what is it complaining about now? Cannot infer the type of direction variable because value does not have a set type. Okay. Where is it getting transformed? Is move toward, or wait, I guess it's, okay, Z is a vector 3, so is X. So this move toward is saying from some spot to some other spot times a delta. So what is speed? Oh, speed is just a oh, in this case, if I'm using this speed and jump velocity, I might just be able to use this value. Oh no, but speed doesn't include direction. Oh wait, we're literally setting velocity here. The vector's x component. Okay, so we're saying if direction. So if direction is being set. So this is saying if you're not moving directly in an x direction or y direction, or x or z direction. I'm trying to figure out exactly what they're doing. So yeah, direction is a vector 3. We don't have an apply central force. Actually, let me check. Do I have a... If I just look up force, or if I look up apply, you know what? I don't think I have this because I'm working on a character body. I feel like I'm just thinking about this backwards, which is why I'm just like, I'm trying to dissect this bit of code. I mean, like, I get what it does, but then I've got to actually say what each individual part does and just be like, here's where I need to implement the twist pivot basis. Right? I imagined we just did it here, but we don't just do it there. The basis of this transform is composed by 3 axes. Together they represent the transform's rotation, scale, and shear. Yeah, but I can't... But I think it was saying I can't just do that. Okay, so this is the local transform of the node. So the transform of the player. We definitely want to upgrade direction, right? Because we're trying to say, okay, this is the direction I want to move. We want it to be normalized because we want them to move a set distance like regardless of the frames. And it's not twist pivot dot basis. Maybe I did twist input before. Cannot infer the type of direction variable because the value doesn't have a set type. Oh, I see. It's an unknown. So this is an unknown type, whereas if it's a transform, it's a transform 3D. So direction doesn't explicitly have to take a transform 3D. What if I did like... Okay, why can't I just get the transform of the twist pivot? Um, okay, that's somebody else talking about how they want a camera to work, but it was deleted, so we can't actually see the... Why? I feel like I'm making this more complicated myself. I mean, I guess it just goes to show you my brain's going to be a bit fried after, basically, programming for work and then programming for leisure, whatever. I don't know. But I feel like sorry, I know I'm a broken record for saying this, but I feel like I'm making this way more complicated than it needs to be. And I think it's probably because we're just taking the input directions. So why is it input direction Y? Honestly, it's probably worth going into project settings. And then, actually, I think it is input map. Show built-in actions. So is there just a move? So there's UI right. There's no move. At least that's what it looks like. These are all UI options. Yeah, there's no move. Okay. Okay, move left. Where did it go? Oh, I lost it. Filter left. There it is. You can't even see the pop-up window, which is so sad. Keyboard keys. Filter inputs A. Physical key code, position on US QWERTY key. Yeah, we just want that to be A. Okay. I'm gonna add move right, move up, and I did move up, but I'm gonna do move forward. And then I guess I got delete move up. Where did move right go? Did I not add move right? I guess I didn't. Okay, whatever. That's fine. So move backward. D. Move forward. W. Move right. D. I set move back to D, which I don't want. S. Okay. So now yeah, and I think these are just vector. Yeah, these are just vector 2s. So what is the difference between get vector and get axis? So var input is equal to vector 3 dot 0. So then we say input, I don't know how I got the x there, input dot x. Okay, it's making more sense now. Yeah, the problem was the The problem was that I had sorry, I really shouldn't try to talk and type at the same time because it's just not going to work out. Uh, this does not need that at the end. What did I do? Oh, I accidentally deleted a whole bunch of code in between. Um, what I want to do is I lost my train of thought. So get access is different than get vector. This just gets me a float. Get access input by specifying two actions, one negative, one positive. Okay, so we're saying left is negative, right is positive, which is fine, doesn't really matter. We could basically just copy this line and paste it in. We're going to do input dot z for this one, and we'll do forward and backward. Okay. Now with those defined, we cannot do apply central force, but we can update direction, I believe. And that might actually just be doable with input.x and input dot z. We can normalize that. Let me comment this out, because I don't think I actually need that anymore. I'm going to try running it. Okay, my movement is still not based on the camera, but nothing really changed. It's, that might be because of this transform basis. I still don't think I can use twist pivot, but we'll try. Yeah, okay, it complains. So this is just the transform of the node 3D. So it's just saying take its position, multiply that by a normalized vector 3. Maybe I don't need this. Is velocity defined anywhere? Yeah, kind of. Maybe I can just comment all this out and then let me unindent that. I wonder if I can even move. I can't move. I didn't think so. Wait, what is this move towards doing? Oh, this is just saying slow down. Yeah, so I definitely need the... Oh, but I could just say, this could just be an input event. But I feel like constantly reading input events is a bit weird. But then again, I guess this is always just doing vector math. I feel like just putting it in under unhandled events is kind of sloppy, though. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, basically all we need to do is just say, maybe we make our own var direction. And so var direction doesn't need to be anything in particular. Um, so let's see, we can do twist pivot, which is what we want to do, dot. Actually, that might work, because twist pivot itself, we might not need to update this. Why is this L? Oh, because this is no longer indented, yeah. So we're gonna do twist pivot dot something. Maybe like a maybe twist pivot dot transform dot basis. Does that work? I'm trying to get the idea is that we get the actual position of the, like the position, rotation, and stuff of the twist pivot. Actually, in this case, it'd specifically be the, would it be the rotation? Yeah, I guess it'd be the Y rotation of it. Because pitch would be X and Z, I believe. No, it'd just be X. So what do I have as an option here? Twist pivot dot. What if I put like a Y? No, rotate. Maybe it'd be like rotation Y. That still doesn't work, does it? Cannot infer type of direction variable because value does not have a set type. Maybe if I just like set the right, because the direction is just us telling it to move. Don't want. Okay, wait. If I just do twist pivot dot basis. Basis of the transform property. Okay, so we do want. So the problem is that direction can't read this twist pivot dot basis. Not necessarily the twist pivot dot basis isn't valuable. So we're saying times input times 1200 times delta. So direction needs to be. So what is direction defined as in this case? It doesn't show me if I hover over it, which is a little annoying. It's saying direction is a vector, a normalized vector 3, which I guess makes sense, right? We're applying the rotation, scale, and shear of a transform to a vector 3. I don't know why direction. I guess it's because so input times 1200. What is that 1200 doing? Let me listen to their definition. Oh, did I miss? I might have missed something that they added. Okay, wait, what did I miss here? They're talking about this var aligned force. There doesn't seem to be an autocomplete. Uh, twist pivot update. They were showing in their code this. But what's it complaining about now? Why is it complaining about this var? Used space character for indentation instead of tab. Oh. Cannot infer the type of aligned force variable because the value doesn't have a set type. Oh, you know what? I think it's because I'm multiplying a vector 3 by... I think that's what it is. So, technically, I need to update twist pivot to give me a vector 3, I think. And that's what the problem is. Which I guess is technically obvious. Right, because more or less, that's all this is. Input. This is basically just input glorified. Normalized is, I think, making up for delta. And transform is the spatial positioning stuff of character body. So we want the positioning of twist pivot. All right, how do I typecast? Is it just that simple? I didn't mean to add it there. Oh, it is just that simple. Wait, so does that work then? If I just add that as vector 3, no errors, and it crashed. Could not convert value to vector 3. Is it because the parent might not be able to get the value from the child, is what I'm thinking. But that, I don't know. I feel like I'm just making stuff up. I guess my question is, why is his twist pivot considered a vector 3 and mine is not? His twist pivot dot basis. Or I guess, why does it maybe it's because apply central force isn't looking for. Maybe I'll just look up the I'm just gonna look up the apply central force function. I just want to see the function. All right, the Godot docs. Rigid body 3D. Apply central force. Applies a directional impulse without affecting rotation. An impulse is time independent. Applying an impulse every frame would result in a frame rate dependent force. For this reason, it should only be used when simulating one-time impacts. Use the underscore force function otherwise. This is equivalent to using apply impulse at the body's center of mass. Yeah, I guess central impulse is. Oh. Oh, wait. Apply central force. Applies a directional force without affecting rotation. The force is time dependent and meant to be applied every physics update. It's equivalent to using apply force at the body's center of mass. So it is apply central force is a vector 3. So my problem is that twist pivot dot basis is not a vector 3, I think. Because technically this should work just as fine for, or I guess this should work just as fine as whatever. It's just a bit annoying. Maybe me skipping around so much has caused me to not get my thing working like a vector 3. Okay, here's talking about mass events. Okay, so he already had apply central force. We definitely don't want to use that. The rotation dot whatever might be key to what we need to do. Rotation part of the local transformation in radians specified in terms of Euler angles, or Euler angles. My bad. Pardon me, mathematicians. Rotation is matrix and not a vector. 3 Euler angles, which are the 3 independent parameters of the Euler angle parameterization of the rotation matrix, are stored in a vector 3 data structure, not because the rotation is a vector, but only because vector 3 exists as a convenient data structure to store 3 floating point numbers. Therefore, applying affine, A-F-F-I-N-E, this is the first time I've heard that word. Allowing for or preserving parallel relationships. Applying affine operations on the rotation vector is not meaningful. Yeah, so this is just saying like the max. It's using vector 3 just to say like, okay, this position is the max you can go to. It's not actually like a vector in that sense. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I think what happened is I'm just gonna need to figure out something to do with this. That kind of seems like a problem for next time. I think I'm going to call it here because I myself am a bit tired. Um, I know there wasn't a lot going on. I'm just programming. And for the most part, it was me just like going over other people's stuff. And I think part of that is just because of my unfamiliarity with Godot. But also that's kind of programming in a sense where, you'll be using somebody else's code snippet and kind of building your own thing, right? And that's why you've got like libraries and stuff defined for, you to use to be like, okay, well, I want to build this thing. So take the bits and pieces and you'll kind of combine them together off of some like base thing. I don't know. Anyway, um, honestly, I might try to work on this on my own, whether or not I'm streaming it. Just try to get this camera thing fixed because it's bothering me. And also next time, I'm gonna make sure to, well, I guess I technically already did fix the rendering thing, so OBS should be able to show chat. It should be able to show different window types, and not just the things. You should be able to see like pop-ups and stuff too. Um, I apologize that those didn't work this time. I didn't realize that setting it as a different window affected all that stuff, which kind of sucks. But I was super excited that I got that working too. So unfortunate that it doesn't work as well as I thought it did. Anyway, thanks for joining. I know it was a chiller time. Next stream will probably be Tuesday. Honestly, I probably would have streamed some more tomorrow, but I've got quite a busy day. So I'm not really sure I have the time for it. Though I'll probably work on this a little bit just to get some more done, and so I don't have to worry about this camera thing anymore and just struggle sitting in it. The worst part about coding is definitely when you get stuck and you're just like, well, how do I get this thing to work? And then it takes you, an hour or two to figure out, oh, I was just missing one line of code or two lines of code, or if I just use this variable instead of variable y, it would have worked. But that's programming. So anyway, thanks for joining today, and hopefully I'll see you again on Tuesday for more Raid. Thanks, and good night.